Look, somebody needs to help Errol Spence Jr. And what I mean by that is that somebody has to be looking out for him and his well-being. And let's talk about that. But first, if you're new here, thank you for stopping in. And if you're an older subscriber, thank you for helping out the community and supporting it. I'm really trying hard to grow this very small community. It's growing little by little, but we're getting there. Now, what do I mean? Well, listen. Okay, so I try not to report on supposed confirmed fights and dates and things like that. As you can see with Gervonta Tank Davis, YouTubers were really quick to jump the gun and said, oh, it's Valenzuela versus Davis, in November. And I'm thinking, there's no way that the turnaround is going to be that quick. There's no way, first of all. But even if it was, no one has said anything. And it's all about my sources. And we've seen in the past it doesn't work, right? So in this one, I'm reporting it because, one, we saw Errol Spence in the ring with Fondora when he first beat Zoo. So we know that the interest was there. We heard LRB said that they would want that matchup because he's an in-house fighter. So is Fondora. They would like to make that fight. And it's a bigger fight than actually for money-wise, and probably bigger anyhow, than Crawford. One, because of the interest, the intrigue. How is he looking when he comes back? Fondora being an attraction in itself, proving himself time after time. And but here's the problem. If it does go into January and we get the Errol Spence Jr. fight, it's not that I think Errol Spence Jr. is shot. He had one bad night, one terrible night. We've seen fighters have one terrible night and still be legends after the fact. So I'm not going to say he's shot. That's ignorant. I'm not going to say that this fight is shot. But what I am saying is, after 18 months, you're getting into the ring with somebody who's 6'6" at 154 pounds. Has been there the whole time, has taken on quality opponents, has been knocked out, has gone through the ringer, he's been through battles, and he's just gotten better. Fondora by no means is a bad fighter or a mid-level fighter. He's a formidable fighter. I still think he's 1 or 2 fights away from being elite, but he's formidable. And he's just so tall that it will be easy if Errol's timing is off after 18 months, it'll be easy for him from that height to hit him. Okay, having said all of that. Even if Errol was to lose that fight, it doesn't mean he's shot. It's 18 months facing Fondora. But here's the thing. Somebody on his team has to be looking out for Errol and saying, bro, your pride is going to get you hurt. Why? Because if you remember prior to these fights, Errol was always being heralded as the guy with no tune-ups. The no tune-up man. Well, 2 accidents later, horrific car accidents, retina detachment, possibly high or not high allegedly during the fight against Terrence Crawford, or at least on medication, or dehydrated. All that takes is toll on your body. Your body does start to deteriorate. And if that's the case, if your body's on the decline, but you might still be great, but it's on the decline, and you take no tune-up, and you go into Fondora, you're going to get hurt, and then you'll be shot. And then it'll be over. And it'll be catastrophically over because he won't understand that, and he'll try to come back again and then severely get hurt. A la Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. took, I don't know, I hope he lives a long, healthy life, but man, that man took unnecessary knockouts. See, nobody was in there to really understand and at least sit him down. Maybe they were, but I doubt it because Roy Jones has that ego as well. Somebody has to be in Errol Spence's corner and say, my man, you cannot go into the towering Inferno, lunging in with jabs, having worked on no game whatsoever, having to retool yourself, and going in there and thinking you're going to be the firefighter who's going to put that fire out. Even if Errol were to win, I don't see how it's an easy one. And it's starting to feel like no one is putting him and his health first. They need to. Someone needs to tell him, bro, come back with a mid-fighter. Get your bearings. See where you are at 154. See where you are. Work on something. And then go into the Tower Inferno. You see what happened with Crawford. You can say that Crawford didn't come up and fight the fight that he needed to because he just wasn't motivated for Madrimov. I think he was pretty motivated for Madrimov. But you saw what happened. It was a close fight. If Madrimov would have won 2 of those rounds, which he could have because there was a lot of inactivity in between, he could have beat Crawford that night. 154 is different. Some fighters it isn't. Some fighters it is. Like Jerron Butenis, I don't think 154 would be too difficult for him. I don't think it would. But for somebody like Terrence Bud Crawford at his age, we saw it made a difference. It's the reason why he doesn't want any other fight or entertain any other fight other than Canelo, because he knows if he gets rocked and knocked out, he has made a bag. He's not going to get a sizable bag against Fondora. He's not going to get a sizable bag against, even Errol. He's not going to get a sizable bag against Zoo because he knows there's a likelihood that them guys might beat him. Or if he wins, it's by the skin of his teeth again. And then really now big paydays are gone. He's not willing to risk it. He wants the big payday and go out. Same thing with Errol. Errol is going to probably get paid well for this fight. Not as much as maybe a Canelo fight, because that was the plan. But he might just get hurt. And not just Errol now. Look at all these other fighters doing the same things. We need to start looking out for fighters. Corners, managers, commissions need to start looking out for fighters and say, no, you can't go into a top 5 guy after X amount of months off. I mean, Derevyanchenko came off the bench after almost 2 years against Gennady Golovkin. And he gave Gennady Golovkin hell. I thought he was going to knock him out. Had that man been active, he would have. Derevyanchenko got shot fighting off the couch. Same thing with Errol. Errol's known for partying. Errol known for all these indiscretions outside the ring, in between training camps. I mean, I don't know if he's turned his life around since then. One would expect maybe he has, but I mean, if old habits are hard to break, we need to protect these fighters. Somebody needs to, a commission. Teddy Atlas has always said national commission. Turkey Al-Sheikh is probably the closest thing working towards one. I hate to say it, but I would love to see a UFC type of organization taking all these fighters and getting them in big fights and still somehow working with the promoters, but having one unified set of rules and one unified set of things, so that way they can protect these fighters and not have these fighters get in there after 24, 18 months of layoff and going into a killer and then getting decimated, destroyed, and then CTE sets in and all kinds of stuff. We need to help them. Somebody needs to help them. And Errol needs help. I don't think he should take that fight. He should take a top 10, below top 5 guy. Man, I would even take a lower mid, top 15 guy. And then see where I'm at, build myself up a little bit, and then take on the champion. Because he might find out that he's not ready. And if he finds out against Fondora, it might be the last time he steps into the ring. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Do you think he should take a lower tier fighter before he goes into Fondora? Or do you think that he'd be ready because he's great enough to take on a Fondora challenge? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next video. And I'm out. Peace.